The man to know that is Frank Gaffney, founder and president of the Center for Security Policy. Frank, welcome back, and tell us what you know.
Well, I think that Donald Trump was persuasive, Lars, in impressing upon Senator Rand Paul that this was a vote that really mattered to him. And as he said publicly, Rand Paul has never let me down. But I think he really had to sort of lay it on the line. And to his credit, Senator Paul, I think, decided that this is a man who, after all, should be our Secretary of State, and the president deserves his choice. And he has, I believe, made possible with his vote pretty clear sailing now in the full Senate. And with that, I am reasonably certain the confirmation of potentially one of the best Secretaries of State in the nation's history, Mike Pompeo.
Mm-hmm. Well, and in fact, I think that's the thing that gives me a lot of joy, is that we have a good, solid person in that job, and that the Democrats who are going to vote against him, and I wonder how many of them are going to cave in as well, are going to have no really good reason to offer up as to why they're going to vote against him. And we were comparing just the other day the votes on John Kerry, which I don't think exactly was God's gift to the State Department. Hillary Clinton, who was a full-on criminal both before and after and during her time as Secretary of State, she got, I think, close to 90 votes. And so if the Democrats are going to vote against this president and Secretary of State, what excuse are they going to use as to why they're going to turn down Mike Pompeo, given his resume?
Well, first, let me just say, Lars, I'm pretty sure that the overwhelming vote for John Kerry's confirmation was primarily motivated by the widespread, in fact, probably bipartisan desire to get him out of the United States Senate. An insufferable guy. Anyway, look, I don't know what excuses they're going to make. I don't think any of them have any merit, but it won't keep them from contending that, you know, he's a warmonger and he won't be enough of a check on this president who's too given to that kind of thing anyway. And he's said unpleasant things about homosexuals when he was a member of Congress, and he has been harsh on Muslims who have not stood up and helped defeat the Sharia supremacists in their midst. And again, I don't think any of these things have the kind of standing that would justify voting against this man. I know him a bit. He's been on my radio show a number of times, and in fact, the appearances on my show, the appearances on my show, Lars, have been used among the bill of particulars in complaining about him. But I think the good news is that we now have at least 3 Democrats, and I think you're right, there probably will be more. When they see that it's going to go through, I think there are going to be more members of the Senate who want to be on the winning side than on the losing side. But however many it is, it's enough to get him through, and he will be confirmed, all other things being equal, hopefully before the week is out.
Now, Frank, I'm going to give you my dumb theory on why President Trump has made certain comments about the dictator Kim recently. Because, and then you can tell me, you can straighten me out and tell me if where we ought to go with this. I look for all the usual folks who complain about the president, and they're all saying, my goodness, look at this. President Trump is describing Kim as very honorable. And I thought, I wonder if any of them step back, at least from my point of view. Kim is Little Rocket Man. The president disparaged him during the campaign and as president, and somehow the talk, or whatever it was that brought him to the table, maybe just fear that this president would not be like the previous presidents, got Kim to say, I'll come to the table. In fact, I'll come with a shut-down nuclear test site as of Friday, and a shut-down ballistic missile program, and on Saturday, the promise of releasing 3 American captives. And all pretty good, a good start down that road. That when the president now is saying, oh, he's very honorable, I just wonder if people realize this sounds like a bargaining tactic by Donald Trump, and that all these supposedly smart politicians who know all about politics don't realize Trump berated Little Rocket Man, and then he dealt with him tough, in a tough fashion in terms of sanctions, and now he's throwing him a couple of bones. as he heads up to the immediate weeks right before he talks to him. Is that what you think is going on, or is there something else at play?
I don't know the president's mind on this, Lars. I'll just give you my gut instinct is I think he clearly prides himself on being a good negotiator. And I think one of his techniques is to keep the other side off balance, uncertain of what he's going to do. He can complement his prospective negotiating partner. But I think he's been pretty consistent in also emphasizing that it may not work out. And he's been honorable as far as we can tell, and those are important caveats. The other thing I got to tell you, just call me cynical, but I've been in Washington swampland for so long that I am, I guess. I think some of this probably has to do with just the joy he takes in watching his critics tie themselves in knots, trying to simultaneously criticize him for being, this guy who was going to nuke Kim Jong-un on the one hand, that warmonger that we were talking about a moment ago, and on the other, he's proving to be pretty adept at trying to move forward on a diplomatic track. Again, I think the caveats that he's offering are tremendously important. I'm deeply skeptical that this can pan out, but hey, I'd love to be proven wrong.
Hey, Frank, I want to interrupt for just a moment. We just got word that at least 3 people have been shot in Dallas, Texas, including 2 police officers. At this point, we don't know whether anybody has perished in this, but gunmen's at large in an area near a Home Depot store in Dallas. And we just got word, and this has been confirmed by Dallas PD, 2 Dallas PD officers shot and critically wounded. Pray for our officers and their families, and that's certainly an appropriate request to make, but we'll get you details as they become available. That's just breaking here in the last couple of minutes, and I want to make sure people knew that that's going on right now. What's Pompeo going to do about China? We've got about a minute left.
Well, I don't think he'll do anything by himself. I think what he will do is, with the direction of the president, of course, what I think the president has made pretty clear he thinks needs to be done, which is to press back on the increasing aggressiveness. And I really think of it as warlike behavior, certainly economic warfare at the moment, Lars, and I think probably preparation for the other kind as well.
All right, Frank, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming on.
My pleasure as always.
Frank Gaffney is the founder and president of the Center for Security Policy